And we are back with another riveting edition of Enter the Harambedome. I'm your fucking host, probably your favorite host, Jay Dry, aka Living in Babylon. With me, I have.
There's two hosts.
Yeah, I said I'm one host.
One of. I gotcha.
With me, you just heard him speak out of place, biting kneecaps, aka the Cuck Mish. And this week we have a very, very special guest, someone who I am campaigning for to have justice served for him and his team. It is the one and only Anime Thighs, saving lives. Matt, welcome in.
Thank you. Truly a travesty what happened to my team.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it deserves an investigation because it just so happens that you get traded a player who's looking good. People are thinking like, oh, why would Sean trade that player away? He always talks about how he needs running backs, and then that player just happens to get injured. So it's interesting.
I have my organization looking into potential tampering by the Cuckmish here on maybe going to Cordell Patterson's home and beating his knees. So we have to see if maybe there was some retaliation there by the Cuckmish, knowing this is some little insider trading knowledge, if you will.
I mean, hey, it's in his name, biting kneecaps. Cordell Peterson happens to have an injured knee. I mean,
Cordell who?
Cordell Patterson.
I believe it's Patterson. Yeah, my face is looking a lot like Dan Campbell's in my Discord image here right now, listening to all this garbage. But yeah, well, for the sake of the league, I'll as the commissioner, I'll hire an investigation team to look into it. So it'll be thoroughly looked into, and I'll report the findings. I won't release the findings, but I'll verbally report the findings, and then we'll go from there. We'll be fine.
Hey, thanks. You're finally doing something for this league.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so why don't we like dive right into this?
Okay.
All right. So we want to kick it off with looking back at week 4, since we've been addressing already with this trade that happened. Which, by the way, I want to make note actually before we jump in.
Here we go. Here comes the spin.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the trade that Matt and I made was, I believe, the first trade made. I don't know if it was the first trade made on game day, on Sunday, but I think it was the first trade made while games were going on. You know, like while games were actually active. And I think it was definitely the first trade made in that scenario between players playing each other that week.
Do you want some kind of like accomplishment medal, or what are you fishing for here?
Well, first of all, I'm trying to see, is that true, or
trying to get into the record book?
Remember otherwise?
I cannot remember otherwise.
Okay,
where a
so
team, two teams playing each other have traded. Hey, congrats!
I would like to say on the record that I was coerced. It's not a trade.
Oh, here we go.
Interesting.
It's not a trade that was mutual.
Anyway, Thighs, would you say you were in a proper mindset to accept a trade? Like, were you just waking up a little groggy?
I was just waking up a little groggy, I was a little high off the just the victory that the Vikings got, and I was an opportunistic opportunity from Sean to go ahead and offer right when my team ended up sealing that victory.
Hey,
I appreciate you giving us that information.
We've been talking about that trade since like 2 days prior. This has been in the works. It had been in the works. All right.
The independent investigators that we're hiring to investigate the Cuck Mish's investigators will love that from you, Matt, so I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, well, either way, it's a trade of no players playing because Monty's probably not playing this week. Cordero's not going to play, and D-Hop's still suspended. So we have yet to see on this trade. On that note, though, winner of the week, Matt, you want to take it?
Hold on. Let me get to the week 4 real quick. Winner of the week. I think I'm gonna have to give it to my man, Lieutenant Vava.
Mm,
Looking at he put up 171 points, and Jonathan Taylor gave him 4.8, and so did David Njoku gave him 7.3. So the rest of his team is absolutely balled out. He's got the superior, looks like wide receiver on Cincinnati, and T Higgins, and he's his squad's looking pretty scary indeed. And you know that's an off week for Jonathan Taylor, so
Oh yeah,
he's
100%.
100%.
he's got a very solid team here, and he beat King of the West. And you know, back in previous leagues, me and King of the West didn't really get along, and it's always good to see him fall. It's always good to see him stumble in the
Always.
fantasy league.
Right. He's a fake king. So
He is a fake king. I slayed him before, and when I do battle with him again, I'll slay him again.
now, have you slayed him in fantasy as well?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's also in fantasy.
Okay.
Also in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with that. I love that Vava's team snapped against the King. See Josh Jacobs finally putting up some serious numbers. What do you have, 170-something yards last game?
2 tutties.
144 yards, 2
Yeah,
tutties.
last
Debo
game
went crazy.
he had 144 yards. I want to ask a question though. This is just from a football perspective. Do you think Josh Jacobs, like obviously if you're getting over 100 yards, you're having a good game. But did he have a good game or did he have a great game? Because on those 144 yards, it was on nearly 30 carries. I feel like Derrick Henry could take 28 carries and go, 200 plus. I feel like the like carry, I guess the yards per carry. I don't know if it was that good. I don't have it in front of me, but
Yards per carry would be 28 carries, 144. The stats are saying 5.1 per carry.
That's pretty good.
okay, so that is good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah, and 35 points. I mean, that's dominant. It's probably the running back one of the week.
Yeah, and to add on to that, he snagged 5 receptions for 31 yards. I mean,
yeah.
seems like the Raiders finally realized, oh shit, Josh Jacobs can play football.
Yeah,
No, I had him last year, and they didn't realize it then. He was barely your RB2.
Just feed the
he
man the
put on
ball.
a masterclass by Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, that's a good. And I didn't even realize. Jonathan Taylor's out this week though too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I did just see that.
But looks like Vaughn might not. No, and we both said at the beginning of the season we thought Vaughn had a pretty dangerous looking team, and it is definitely turning out that way. And I had no clue T. Higgins would go off this much. I had no clue that was going to happen. He's 12, wide receiver 12.
Yeah, T. Higgins is balling. San Fran's defense is going crazy. Vaugh's team, like we said, dangerous.
It's looking very dangerous.
Absolutely. All right. I'll go. Let's see. So my winner of the week here. I'll go for week 4. Let me get back over to it. I'm gonna have to return the favor given to me after a couple episodes. I'm gonna go ahead and give winner of the week here to Living in Babylon, because this was my matchup of the week too. Last episode when we had Follow Spike on, talking about it, I wanted to see what was gonna happen between these two, duking it out within the East, and see where the standings would fall. And this was a close one. And honestly, we went into Monday night, correct me if I'm wrong, but Brennan's defense, the Bucks defense, started and he was winning. All right? He was winning that game.
Correct.
And so it was just a matter of would they slip and fall. And obviously, I saw Mahomes had a decent game. But the Bucks defense, it felt like they dropped fast. I mean, they dropped to 0 fast. And they were going down. I mean, that Chiefs offense, they weren't messing around. And you look over at the points, and they were pretty spread decent. I mean, your defense kind of fell flat, and Gabe Davis, which actually, let me take a little tangent here for you. What's going on with Gabe Davis?
He's got that ankle injury he's been nursing. So Just hasn't been getting the separation that he usually gets because he's got a bum ankle.
Okay. Yeah.
But I figured if they were rolling him out on the field, he would be good enough to get that separation to be playing, but apparently not.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, if you had thrown in like Mike Williams, it could have been just a little bit more, for like 15 points or so. But I mean, the running backs. I have to say, I mean, you have to have the best running back depth in the whole league, and it's not close. And I'm going to include Jalen Hurts in that too because he runs so much. But I mean, Hurts is like number 3 quarterback, right? He's
I think
yeah.
after
It says
last
it right
week,
here.
oh yeah, I
It says
guess
he's
he is.
3. So I mean, you have Hurts. Derrick Henry looks like he's returned to form. After a couple weeks of scare there, he's back to his normal self. Saquon, that's awesome because Saquon is the number 2 running back in the league, and he's an absolute stud right now. And then the Aaron Jones. Is that Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon situation frustrating?
It does get a little frustrating, but it seems like Aaron is the 1A and AJ Dillon's the 1B. So that's nice to see.
Yeah, and
Like, I
then
mean, last game, Jones got 16 carries, put up 110 yards, and I think Dillon had well, I guess Dillon got more carries looking at these stats, but with less efficiency. He had 17 carries. So, I mean, yeah, watching the game, I'm getting a little pissed off when I see Dillon in there for a drive, but it is what it is.
yeah, no, and then you have Damian Pierce on the bench going off for 30 points. That's ridiculous. I mean, and talk about catching passes too, like with Josh Jacobs. I mean, this guy, how many passes did he catch? I'm trying to see how I can get over to it in the. Oh, it's right. Yes, right in front of my face. 6 catches, right? Even though it was just minimum yardage. I mean, 6 catches is 3 points. So
Yeah, you love that passing work.
yeah, and then I mean the Gug. I'd say he came through enough, 7 points. It's decent for a kicker, even though I think you should sit kickers the rest of the year and protest. But yeah, and then getting the 2-point dub. I mean, it came close, came down to Monday night, but they pulled it out, 500, and then moving forward. So definitely the winner of the week there.
One game at a time.
I think it's unfortunate that Tua went out the way he did.
Yeah. I'm fortunate that he went out the way he did because who would have thought TJ Hawkinson was going to put up 37 points?
Yeah.
I know. He went absolutely off. Man, the Lions defense sucks. Non-existent, garbage, trash defense.
Yeah, that's terrible. Finally got a high-powered offense, and the defense can't carry their weight.
I don't think there's ever been a season a month into the league where the Lions have led the league with the most points scored. I don't think that's ever happened in the NFL history before. And we just match it with this awful defense, and it's just depressing.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but hey, Hawk did go off, and Hawk went off being like the only real target, honestly, because Amon-Ra down, Swift down. I think at one point Reynolds was out for a period of time, even though he did decent. But yeah, Hawk with not much covering him. I mean, he went off. So
Jamal Williams went off too, man.
Jamal Williams did go off. He did. He had like 30 points for talk. So I mean, it's definitely. I would say at that point, it's the scheming of the offensive coordinator. If you're it doesn't matter who you're putting in there. You're playing well and putting up points. I mean, it's the Seahawks defense, but still, I'd say pretty good so far. But yeah, our defense sucks. But that really kept him in it. Hawk definitely kept him in it. And Greg Joseph getting 17. And then after that, Mixon put up 17. And then other than that, there's the Tua situation really. I mean, that was right there the deciding factor. But
yeah.
All right. Who you got?
All right, so I'll go ahead. My winner of the week is going to a man that we kind of trashed in episodes past. I'm going to give it to the number 1 Lamar stan.
Ooh.
Because if you would have told me that Lamar has a 17-point week, do I think this team wins? I would have probably told you not. But instead, Miles Sanders puts up a beautiful 32. Mike Evans goes crazy. DK even has a nice game despite having to get carted to go take a poop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It probably does help that injuries really attacked the Spank Engines team and caused them to get as many points as he did. Like Javante going out and then Tua getting hurt didn't help Waddle at all. But yeah, I mean, Lamar Stan getting less than 20 points from Lamar and still putting up 131. I think that's a fat dub.
I agree. Yeah, no, and James Robinson had been going off for him for a couple weeks and only got 3.
Yeah.
And he's still, yeah, because James Robinson to that point was 20, 17, and 26, and then 3. And yeah, no, that's 131. And Mike Evans, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you were paying attention, but I thought I looked over at JB at one point at the game and saw Mike Evans didn't have much, and then it was like the end where all of a sudden he's got like 27 points. I don't know when he scored though. I wasn't really watching the game.
Yeah, I mean, if Tom just realizes that nobody can guard Mike, and fantasy would be a lot better. Fantasy will continue to be good for the number 1 Lamar Stan. I mean, he's 3-1. Like,
yeah,
we were talking down on his team not too long ago about him losing a game because with Lamar scoring however many points he scored. But
oh yeah, see, that was my game. I remember that.
Yeah, but that's his one loss. Man's 3-1. He's balling. His team's balling. Respect to the number 1 Lamar Stan.
Yeah, I think that's fair. One question I have though is Mike Evans the real can't guard Mike? I know Ted might be bothered by this question with his boy Michael Thomas sitting in IR, but is that the real can't guard Mike?
You wonder. I mean, something to argue. I'd say yes.
All right, we'll see maybe what Ted has to say about that in the future. I'd like to, speaking on this game real quick, I'd like to commend Ted's pickup of Tyler Higbee. I think that was a great pickup when he did it, and I think it's going to continue to pay off. I was a big Higbee fan. A couple years ago, I thought after his breakout at the end of like 2019, I was getting a stud in 2020, and he ended up falling flat. But I think that was more so Jared Goff than anything. And now, he's got Staffy, and he's got a year of chemistry with Staffy, and now Higbee. I think Higbee, honestly, Higbee, I think he'll stay top 10 as a tight end. So I think Ted made a good move there. But speaking on a good move, I'm gonna look at this. He wouldn't have won, but Ted is continuing to sit a top 5 quarterback for a top 20, barely 19. At this point, if you're Ted, are you starting Jared Goff week in, week out over Aaron?
Tough. It's tough to sit Aaron, but I feel like you kind of got to.
I mean, Aaron had, again,
until Aaron can prove that. But, I mean, you look at Goff, yeah, he just put up 40 whatever, but week prior, 16. And then he put up 34 in week 2, but week 1, 20. Like, maybe Goff is matchup dependent. I don't know. It's tough to sit Aaron, but if Goff is going to be playing QB for the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL, how do you not start him?
That's what I'm saying. Actually, I want to see what Ted's doing with that right now. Because Ted's texted me when I told him before the game started. I said to Ted, still not starting Goff? And he said, I thought I dropped him. And I don't know who's dropping a top 5 quarterback, but no, he's still on the bench. I made my icy hot last week. He needs to starting Goff. Sit Aaron. At least put Aaron in on the bench as punishment until you can prove you can put up more than 22 points in a game. Not that 22. I mean, 22. If your rest of your team's performing, 22 is solid. It's doable. But when you have a quarterback on the bench who's put up 30 and 40 so far, and another 20-point game, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like the obvious.
Yeah, I feel like it's a hard decision to make to sit Aaron, and because I'm a nice guy and I want to look out for my fellow league mates, Ted, send me Aaron. I'll make the decision to put him on my bench. You don't have to. Let's
You guys
work on
know,
that.
I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. More than anybody else. Love my boy
Yeah.
Rodgers.
Oh, I forgot you did that. Oh,
But
sick.
I think at this point you gotta bench Rodgers for golf, bro. He's out there just throwing dimes.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean,
And you are a noted stan for Aaron Rodgers.
You are
I am.
100%.
I am. He's carried me many times to the golden land in fantasy, but it seems like that Green Bay offense is starting to change to a more running back centric attack now that Devontae Adams is on the Raiders.
Yeah, I agree.
But hey, maybe this whole conversation is what Ted wants, because last week our little group spent a whole session trashing Geno Smith and Cole's decision to start him, and Cole got, even though he lost, he got 40 points out of him. So
Yeah, I mean, I was very wrong on that take.
I definitely
I didn't
was
think
as
Gino was going to do, but I didn't realize he was playing the fucking worst defense to ever set foot on a field.
well. That's what it's looking like so far. Yeah. Disgusting. Absolutely filthy and disgusting. All right, let's move into loser of the week. Matt,
Yeah.
roll with it.
Loser of the week. Yikes. I mean, might be in bad etiquette, but I'm gonna have to look at this guy, Anime Thighs Save Lives, man. He's had two pretty rough weeks in a row. He's kind of reeling off them 2 wins at the very beginning of the season, and he's dropped back-to-back games by large margins. So I kind of blame Jordan for speaking that into existence. I was doing just fine until he decided to say that Tuck would blow me out, and then I haven't been the same since. So thanks, Jordan. I appreciate you speaking that into existence. But
I was just speaking some dubs for Scrimp.
For those, yeah,
and
but you don't realize
L's for Anime Size. Yeah. So we're reeling, but we're gonna regroup now. We got another matchup here that against was it who am I playing? Follow Spike. Gonna hope to bounce back, get back on track, and get and hopefully be playoff bound. We need better performances out of Jamar Chase. He's been very subpar. Diggs had a pretty bad week. My running back core is a disaster. I was really hoping to bank on my wide receivers, and they're letting me down. They're letting me down for sure. And I can't seem to start the right quarterback. I always have the better scoring quarterback on the bench.
Yeah, it's
but we'll
a tough
figure it out.
situation.
Tough.
But yeah, I'm a crown myself loser of the week. I suck.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to look inward and see that your team is struggling.
Nope, it happens.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right. I'll go here. Loser of the week. I'm going to go. You know what? Let's double up on this because I think I know who you want to take, Jordan. So let me just double down here. Loser of the week is going to be the Spank Engine, putting up 93, dropping to 1-3, and refusing to start Jared Goff. I'll say it again. Listen, start Jared Goff. Start the number 5 quarterback in fantasy a month into the season. It's not like it's just 1 or 2 weeks. We're talking, we're a month in. I think it's fair that you starting Goff, and until you do that and you take L's like this, it's gonna be tough. Now, granted, I understand Goff or no Goff. Lamar Stan had a great week. Nothing Spank Engine can do about it with the injuries. I understand, but at the same time, points might matter come end of the season. When it comes to tiebreakers and points for. So you're giving up in this case 23 points. To start Aaron. So I would make sure you're starting the better quarterback here. But I mean, taking an L and dropping to 1-3. That 1-3 hole is never fun. I've been there. I think pretty much all of us in the league have been there. It's early and it's just kind of you get down on it, and so tough start. So this is matchup, and it was this the one of the bigger blowouts? So I'll give Mr. Spank Engine the L of the week here.
Yeah, I mean, his team is struggling. I don't know why you thought that was going to be my loser of the week, because anyone that starts Aaron as quarterback is a winner.
No, I didn't want to take your loser of the week, so who I was going to say. So I did Spank Engine instead. I think I know who you were going to pick, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that like we said earlier, injuries really hurt his team this week. Javante's gone for the season. Yep. Tua getting hurt, like we mentioned, hurts Waddle. Swift not being in. I mean, his team needs some help.
No, he's definitely going through it. He's going through it, but injuries pile up, and again, nothing he can do about that this week. But that pile of injuries also tags onto that loser of the week title here, because it's tough. It's that tough injury fantasy stuff. So I do appreciate the Craig Reynolds pickup, though, even though he's just on the bench. The Lions' third string running back. That Craig Reynolds pickup because he has Swift. Appreciate seeing that. But yeah. So who you got, Jordan? Let's see if you were thinking what I was thinking.
Well, last week I had a terrible take on Geno Smith. He ends up putting up 39 points, but that still is not enough to get my loser of the week a dub. My loser of the week is the Yarny Broker. Yep. Shout out that boy Bums Are Us. Still racking in those dubs. I mean, I don't really know what to say about Yarny. He's 0-4. He's got a QB that puts up 40, a tight end that puts up almost 20, and he still can't secure a dub. I mean, what's going on with this guy, huh?
Perfect way to end it. What's going on with this guy, huh? Yeah, he's sitting a defense that puts up 11. And it looks like his receiver core is mad, which confuses me because A.J. Brown I thought started out really hot. I mean, he was playing the Lions week 1. But, no, I mean, 17 last week. Yeah, so I guess it was just like a midweek from him with 12. But, like, his team didn't do – I mean, he put up 120-something. So –
no, his team didn't do terrible.
Leonard Fournette, double digits.
He just ran into a freight train.
He ran into a Bums R Us freight train, a scrimp, if you will.
If he had started Breece Hall over London, he would have. That's what you get for keeping my boy Breece Hall on the bench. Free my man Hall. He's a solid running back on that Jets O-line.
Oh, that is true though. With a 9-point victory, there were a couple of moves he could have made to win, including the defensive one too, because that would have been exactly 9, and that would have put him at I think 134.9.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He's made some choices that have cost him, but
he's also rostering 3 quarterbacks.
The only winless team in the league left.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move into the matchup of the week, Matt.
All right, matchup of the week. Let's see here. Gotta look through here real quick. All right. See a couple interesting matchups here. A couple solid ones, but I think I'm gonna go with biting kneecaps versus Bums Are Us. I think that's gonna be my matchup of the week. You got the up and coming Bums Are Us hot off a 2-game win streak, blowing out his teams, and then you have the undefeated biting kneecaps trying to hold on to his crown. I think that can make for a very interesting fantasy matchup with Bums Are Us being so hot right now.
And as things stand, Bums Are Us is favored to take the dub. Not that projections matter, but makes an interesting storyline.
It does.
Yeah, it looks like he's projected for the dub right now because I went ahead and I accepted reality and I sat Amon-Ra and Monty are on the bench right now for Corey Davis and Zeke because they haven't practiced this week, and I have a feeling that neither one of them's going to play. So I'm just accepting the projection that it's giving now. And also I'd like to make note that I'm still the Wardissi connoisseur. So if Bums R
True.
Us does win this week, that means it gets passed on to him. I don't plan on giving it to him, but there's always that week in and week out. Whoever's played me so far has had that chance to be that Wardissi connoisseur. So proudly holding that title. I guess we'll move right into my matchup of the week here. Oh, there are a couple of decent ones. You know what? There are some good ones, but I think I'm gonna go with the one with the most sexual tension and go with the King of the West versus Living in Babylon. Obviously this one is filled with tension here between the two. That sort of thing you could always read when they were living together. There was always that tension when you walked into when they were in the same room and you walked in.
Is it still tension though if you've acted on it?
I think if you act on it and then it goes a period of time without happening, the tension can rebuild.
Oh, okay.
So I think the tension's back. And I think one of these two is going to hit it from the back and take the other one down to 2 and 3. And and we're looking at a solid matchup right now. The projection is going towards Babylon, but player by player, I think that just going off a basis here, I think Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts will be interesting because they both kind of picked up, or at least Kyler's picked up, I think, a little bit more, unless I'm just talking out of my ass. Let's look at the stats here. No, I mean, he had a 30. He's just been up and down, but 26, 29, 16, and now he's back to 29. So, and then I think you win the running back battle, but then I think when you look at the receivers, I think he wins that. Keenan Allen's going to be back and Tyreek Hill, even though, of course, no Tua, so we'll see how that goes.
Is Keenan coming back?
Keenan, I think he almost made it back last week, and now I think this is going to be the week he gets to come back. Wardle seemed hesitant about putting him in, and now I see him in the lineup, so I think Wardle's probably confident too. So Kyle Pitts and Dawson Knox kind of offset. Edwards-Helaire and Aaron Jones will be interesting. The defense is sure. And then Donnie, you picked up Donnie. But I noticed you're also going against 2 Bills. Devin Singletary and Deadeye Bass.
Yeah.
So that's definitely some conflict there. But yeah, I like this matchup. I like it this week.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's quite a few good matchups this week, but I'm gonna go ahead and give my eyes to matchup of the week: Lamar Stan versus Dr. Lieutenant Vava. I mean, projections don't mean shite, but their projections are real close right now. You got 2 stud QBs facing off against each other. I feel like their running back 1 and 2 are pretty evenly matched. Sanders versus Harris, Robinson versus Khalil. Wide receivers, again, I mean, I feel like that's a close little matchup. Same with tight end. I mean, just all around, this game should be close. This matchup should be close. It'll be good. It'll be good.
I agree. I like seeing the gauntlets in the West. Kind of.
Yes, and it's a battle for the Western crown right now.
It is. You would think the King of the West would be battling for that crown, right?
You would think, but the King of the West is a fraud. He is nothing more than just a bum of the West.
Oh man. Also, I noticed what's Josh Jacobs doing in the flex now for Khalil Herbert? Is Josh Jacobs getting punished for his good week? How is he going to respond to that?
Does he play on a? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little disrespectful based on Josh Jacobs' performance.
I mean, Vava is a Bears fan, so maybe that plays into it.
Yeah, but he started Khalil last week, and Khalil was in the flex.
Yeah, I don't know.
So this is
Maybe he's just trying to hide him on his lineup.
That's true. Yeah, because
Play his little mind games.
I think Vi is playing little mind games with his little mind games with us here. Interesting with his little Spider-Man picture, Spidey
Yeah,
Vi.
'cause he's just always shooting webs around his house.
Dude, 24/7, he's webbing.
Shacked up with all his army bros, just shooting webs on each other.
Oh man. All right. Okay, so let's move into our next segment here. We got moving. What now? We're looking at the offers report here. Let's see
I
who
believe
got
that's how it rolls.
the waiver claims.
All right.
All right. So taking a look here, we had a couple battles. Okay, so Lamar Stan tried to. I think we're looking at the first time that the waiver standings came into play because we had Lamar Stan and Bums R Us both going for the Jaguars defense, and Bums R Us got it. And I think because in our fab system, for anyone who doesn't know, because apparently some details become lost through the league. To explain, remember, if there's ever a tie, the fab is decided by what does sit there, which is the waiver standings. I'm trying to see if I can
Yes.
find where it is. I'm probably just missing it here. But yeah, and so I guess we're seeing one of the first situations here this year where there's a tie in the fab, and the person listed higher on the waiver got him. So exciting part of this segment. We had Donnie. Somehow you landed Donnie. When you texted me and said you were going to get one of those players that the league is going to be like, oh, how did we get him? You were right. How the hell did we let you get Donnie? Donathan.
I see a top 5 kicker. I mean, I gotta add him, especially after the Gunk misses a field goal.
Not even top. I mean, we're talking top 3. You have a top 3 kicker.
Hey, Donnie will lead me to the promised land.
Oh, and then the addition of Corey Davis. I was just looking for an Amon-Ra fill-in. Who knows? I might even end up switching that out before game day. We'll see. But he seemed like a good option with Zach back. They got that chemistry. He had 15 last week with a touchdown. So let's see what happens there.
Glad you paid for him.
I paid $2. $2.
Yeah, glad you paid for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for shopping.
Made sense for me to spend $2 on him, considering no one wanted him. And then Spank Engine. This is interesting. I guess Spank Engine must have had 2 different scenarios where he picked it, because it's saying that he was unsuccessfully added Mike Boone twice.
So yeah, well, he wanted him so bad that he put 2 $8 bids on him.
Put 2 $8 bids on him. That's crazy.
He came to me though. He came home to Anime Thighs.
Anime Thighs. With someone putting down 8, I think this justifies your spending. But after getting him, do you think you overpaid, or do you think 20's sweet spot?
Well, he was many people's number 1 waiver wire ad for the week. So we will see how he performs. I guess to be determined right now. We'll see how that $20 is spent.
Yeah, I mean, I won't knock you on it. Someone literally tried to add him twice. They wanted him so bad.
They wanted him that bad.
So, I think we do need to let Ted know that when you put in 2 claims of $8, it's not going to add up to 16. You can just do the $16 claim.
Well, you know how Ted is. Late nights, he starts huffing that jankum and then probably forgets some stuff.
That's fair. And then, we have another little, and so we on one end we're joking with Ted, and on the next end we see that he pulls off the move.
Shit!
This is a spit in your face, Anime Thighs. He said, "Someone's gonna put down 15. I'll put down 16." And
I saw that.
Algier.
I was very upset about that.
Oh, and wait, hold on. He dropped Craig Reynolds in the process? Oh, I take back my compliment from earlier. That bastard dropped Craig Reynolds. But now he added Algier by $1. This is one of our first bids like this where it came down to a single dollar. Did it sting a little bit when you woke up hoping to see the Algier on your roster and instead he got his engine spanked by Thomas?
Yeah, I was a little upset. I woke up a little distraught. I had to pace back and forth in my room a couple of times, calm down my heart rate. But
How did this happen?
exactly, I was like, I put 15 in. I really wanted him, and I didn't get him. And now I'm thinking I should just put 17 in. What's $2 more?
Yeah, you never know. That's the tricky math of the waiver. But does that mean you would have tried to pick up both? Did you have a plan to pick up both, and you were going to spend $35 in total?
Absolutely. My running back core is in shambles. I need running backs stats. Not looking good for me right now in the running back department.
That's fair.
Cam Akers was a failed experiment. Dude's a bum. I'll have to drop him. Really hoping he'd pan out, but he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on with that Rams offense?
I don't know. They're pretty bad outside of Cooper Kupp.
Staff is struggling.
Bad.
No.
I think he won that Super Bowl, and now feels like he has nothing left to prove. But Staff, he's still got to do a little bit more, according to Cole, to get into that Hall of Fame. So,
Yeah, I mean, you wonder if he took his wife's brain cancer.
oh, you fucking bastard! All right. Anyway, Matt, I always wanted to ask. So, do you like Stafford now that he's not a Lion?
I've always liked Stafford. I like the tenacity of the Lions. I never hated the Lions. I mean, I feel like the Vikings and the Lions pretty much step for step were like the brothers in the NFC North. We both didn't like the Bears or Packers. And, I can stand by a fellow and former Lion any day.
Yeah,
And how could you really hate a team that was never truly a threat?
Never. That's what I was about to say too. It's hard to hate a team that never gives you any reason to get mad at them because you beat them. I think I saw a stat during Red Zone, the Lions Vikings game came up, and it was a stat of the the Vikings have beaten the Lions 9 of the last 10 matchups. So yeah, I bet you do like my team.
Yeah, I love the Lions, dude.
Oh, it's 2 wins on the schedule every year. How can I not love them?
Exactly. Our game last week was never in doubt. I knew we were going to win that game.
Oh, sure you did. You were shaking in your boots when you were down. What was it, 24? 24-14. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we stormed back when it mattered most.
That's because our coach made an awful decision to kick that 50-something yard field goal.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. Should have just gone for it, honestly. You guys have been converting 4 downs all day on us.
That must have you pulling what little hair you have out.
Yeah, but when he missed it, I knew it was game over. I knew the Vikings had it in them to win. And, Captain Kirk doesn't steer our ship wrong.
Yeah, that was bullshit. Anyway, let's get to the best segment here.
All right.
The free agent budget summary. Let's see who has what money-wise. All right. So sitting at $100, Follow Spike and King of the West have yet to spend $1. Are they stingy or are they smart? What do we think?
They're saving their money for next season.
Could be.
For the next fantasy league. They think it's going to roll over.
They do. Maybe they do. Let's clarify for those who might not know, because now I feel like this podcast should be responsible for blatantly saying things, especially about free agent budget, so no one forgets. Money does not roll over.
What?
Money, yeah, right? Were you thinking the whole time?
Oh, dude, I thought this entire time.
Yeah, money doesn't roll over. So
the fat stacks this season.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. What have I been doing, dude?
I don't know. I feel like we have to have a whole league discussion about it now. Try and change that rule. Have money roll over. All right, after 100s, we got let's see, 96. 96 living in Babylon. 96. Okay.
These $0 bids are beautiful.
They really are. And then 95 is Dr. Lieutenant Va.
A broke
90,
boy.
90 we got number 1 Lamar Stan. So he's being frugal so far. At 85, there's myself. At 80, there's the Spank Engine. At 71, there's the Yarny Broker. Fuck a Yarny.
Fucker Yarny.
Big time. And then at the bottom, there's Bums R Us with $60. $60 with a month left. Or a month in.
And then we got Anime Thighs at 59.
Oh, whoa. I didn't even know there was going to be someone lower. Anime Thighs at 59.
Man,
So I think this page is also the order for if you tie.
It is. I see position right here.
Yeah.
So everybody who's wondering, here's your positions right now. If there's ever a tie in Fab Dollars, it will go to this. And that's the original resetting of the waiver, or like the original waiver order, where it's like if you make if you pick someone up, you get sent to the bottom after a claim. So
Yeah.
that
Which is why Bums is at the bottom.
Yep. So
I see.
yeah, here we are.
There you learn. Learn something new.
All right, let's move into. Is this a segment? Are we moving into the Icy Hot Takes?
Sponsored by Shaquille O'Neal.
Sponsored by Shaquille O'Neal. Jordan, what'd you have to do this week to keep the sponsorship?
Listen, I'm not going to go into each week what I have to do to keep the sponsorship. Just
Okay.
know I limp for days for you guys.
That's dedication. That is real dedication right there. All right, so Matt, you want to kick it off with the Icy Hot?
Icy hot take. Oh, man. I don't know. I didn't prepare for this segment. Hold on. That thing. Icy hot take.
Well, if you want to take a second, think about it. I'll go ahead and just jump in.
Yeah.
My icy hot take is a continuation of an icy hot take that I had a few weeks ago. Bums R Us continues his hot streak, takes out the kneecaps, takes them out at the kneecaps, sends them to 4-1, moves himself to 3-2, and becomes this league's Bordeaux connoisseur. I think Bums R Us is on a hot streak. He's going to take advantage of the injuries to your team, and Bums R Us ends up on top. Let's go Scrimp Gang.
Scrimp Gang. Okay. You would love that, wouldn't you? Because that would give you a better positioning in the standings as well by taking L. That helps everybody in the East.
It does.
That's fair.
If I can secure the dub.
Of course. Harambe willing,
Yes.
above all. Let's see. Matt, do you have one yet? Or do you want me to go?
You can go. Yeah.
Okay. Because I totally have one. Let's get a little icy hot going here. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to. Because last week I used the Ted with Goff. So let's go ahead and go with this. The icy hot take I'm gonna give this week is it's kind of a mix of season long, but with the potential for it to just be this week. So find a little bit of icy in here is that Josh Jacobs just had a 35-point week. And I think we discussed it earlier. You might feel a little disrespected by this. Okay, the fact that Vaz blatantly, for no apparent reason, moving him into the flex after such a big week. I think that Josh Jacobs is gonna take this personally, and I think Josh Jacobs, for the sake of being put into Vaz flex, is going to tank the rest of his stats this season. And if Vaz doesn't move him by game day, Josh Jacobs is not going to give him more than 10 points in a game the rest of the way.
And knowing how Va operates, because you said that, now he will not move him.
And that's fine, because now Va is taking a running back who has great potential, and he's going to have 10-point weeks. He's going to be a fringe RB2 when he has the potential to break out and be an RB1, and it's going to all be because Va put him in the flex, and it was disrespectful. All right. Thighs, what you got for us?
My icy hot take. Going through here, looking at it. I have to say, wow. You know, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that my boy Thomas, the Spank Engineer, sitting Tyler Algier, right? Clear disrespect after spending $16 to get him. He's going to go ahead and pop off on his bench, and every time he moves him to his fantasy lineup, he'll give him a dud until Cordell Patterson comes back. He should have been on my team. This is totally not personal. Should have been on my team.
No, not at all.
But the clear disrespect after undercutting me so slightly to just put him on the bench, Tyler will take that personally, and I see this being potentially a season-defining insult to Tyler Algier and his team. And so I'm thinking that for every time he's on the bench, puts up 30 points. Every time he's on his team, puts up 5. My hot take.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to assume that the Spank Engine's lineup isn't set yet because he's still got Waddle in there.
Yeah, he's got to. Right now, the fact he hasn't slotted him in immediately, insult enough. I already have Mike Boone on my roster.
Yeah, I mean, you spend $16 on someone, you expect plug that person into your lineup.
Yeah, but so far, slap in the face.
So does he get the dub or no? Over the Yarny broker, the 0-4 Yarny broker.
He's always playing Yarny broker. That entirely depends on whether he starts Tyler or not. Tyler's gonna have a 30-point game.
And now we just got hot. So this whole week is depending on Algier.
Yeah. No. Addition to that, this game is going down to whether he starts Algier or not. Like, he's a surefire 30-point player. He's on the bench right now.
So essentially, Ted, if you don't listen to us and put Jared Goff and Tyler Algier in and have us force your lineup, then you're losing.
Let us set your lineup, Ted.
Or else you lose the league.
Shit, for all we know, that could be a terrible decision. But you spend 16 on somebody, especially someone as ugly as Tyler Algier. You got to play him.
That man is very ugly.
Will you put his face on the pod there, Sean, just to get a look at this guy?
Yeah, let me. I had him. I didn't zoom into him. Let me get over to Ted's bench to find him.
He looks like a Roblox character, bro.
There he is, Tyler Algier. Nice. Ted, how could you sit this man? Oh, wow. You know what's scary? What you'll see it on my screen if you look at the episode later. Tyler Algier, when I pull him up, on the left, it says Jared Goff under the arrow, and on the right, it says Aaron Rodgers under the arrow. So there's one direction for him to go. It's telling him which way. I don't even know why those two names are there, but it's telling him he has to go one way or the other. I think it's to the top of his roster, and then Jared Goff is the other way. But I'm gonna use it as a sign.
Exactly. He's still got Jared Goff on the bench, and he's got this man Tyler with his perfectly square head also on the bench.
On the bench.
And so
because also
you have good.
giving Yarny Broker this win would effectively put Ted in last place, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it would.
It would.
So
he's got to be careful.
he does. He
needs to make the right decisions.
Ted, this is free advice I'm giving you. Take it.
All right. So let's move on to this little last segment we do. Final standings projection, the Watson segment. Sponsored by Snickers. Maybe the team just needs a Snickers. All right.
Well. Look at that. Look who's in last place. I wonder why.
He was last week too. He had dropped those 6 slots because it's always from the projection of where you started in the season, and so they're putting him. He started at 4. They dropped Spank Engine to 10. Va dropped to 2. Back at 1 again. What can you do? And then biggest trending up, living in Babylon. Back up. I think they did that to you last week too, right? Watson had you at.
Yeah, they put me at 3.
Yeah, and by the way, we're saying they because we're not gendering Watson. So
I will. She put me at 3.
You said they, so.
I assume Watson is a collection of minds.
Fair.
I've always been critical of Watson.
So the number 1 Lamar stand also went up 6 spots, all the way to 4.
Okay. I don't know why they dropped him to 10. Is that where he started off?
I think it's from where you start each week. So I think he originally was, wow. See, this is what I'm talking about with Watson. It's like you're putting him at 10, now he's at 4, and he hasn't really changed his team up that much. So it's like...
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Anime Thighs, you only dropped 1 after the L, but to 9.
I have 2 spots to drop, so
yeah, that's fair. And then King of the West ends up staying put at 7. Bums R Us drops from 5 to 8. Follow Spike from 3 to 5, and the Yarny finally doing a little bit because remember Yarny last week after going 0-3, they dropped him from 2 to 4, and now they're dropping him to 6. I feel like
I still don't understand how a team that's 0-4 is 6th place. While a team that caught a dub dropped from 5 to 8, but who am I?
Yeah. So there's,
you got to question Watson's decisions here.
Yeah,
she is interesting.
Yeah, this is interesting. All right, well, that's it. So, are there any final thing we do here? Are there any final words to the league? Anything you'd like to express, especially our guests, because our guest does not get to express their feelings every week to the league. Any words?
I express it in the privacy of my room, sipping a cocktail, getting angry.
Sean knows a lot about sipping on cocks, tails.
No, nothing to add. More, we'll just free my man Goff and free my man Tyler from the bench that is Thomas the Spank Engine. These guys deserve to flourish in the league. They're clearly premier players, and seems like they're just rotting away on the bench. Not gonna do you any good there.
Yeah, and any final words on my end? I noticed that I'll say this. Tuck said 2 weeks seeing the confetti, can't nobody tell me shit in a little chat here. So, and then you back that up. That boy Scrimp's still going too. Rip Cuck this week, and then I added fuck a Yarny. So
I didn't see that.
Make that the final words. Fuck a Yarny.
Yeah, I mean, fuck a Yarny, fuck the king.
Fake King.
Fake King. The bum of the West.
Bum of the West. He should change his name to Bum of the West. All right, and until next week.